We are back with our Marion Toyota Player of the Game. Marion Toyota, where you always get our best price. Right up front, Marion Toyota, best price, best place. A better way to buy a car. Prince Aligbe is our Marion Toyota Player of the Game. And he joins us here post-game. By the way, those loud bangs you hear in the background of the chairs, there are no gunshots going on. But it's the yearly tradition here at Valpo. They can't wait till the radio crews are done and make loud noises. But anyways, Prince, obviously, tough one here tonight. I think it's only fair to start with arguably the worst half you guys have played this year. Coach Nagy said it was a surprise. He didn't feel it coming. For you as someone who was on the floor and was a part of it, what was most frustrating for you from a player's perspective? Here, I'm just gonna run that for you.
Appreciate that. I would say definitely how flat we came out. You know, I think we came in very lackadaisical, you know, thinking that it would be a game that builds up, you know, and we didn't throw a punch first. You know, we were just kind of throwing little jabs here and there. And, again, it showed. They had a guy, I think his name is Justice McNair, credit to him, he got hot. But at the same time, they played, you know, solid defense. They were physical, you know, whether it being on the catch, on rebounds, on drives, they were physical from the jump. So being a part of it and seeing it, you know, it definitely hurt. You know, because we've had similar games, but like you said, that was probably the worst half we've had this season. So it's tough to say that.
Something I was really hard for me to say in our podcast this week is only 3 guys had offensive rebounds in the last game. In this game, 6 different players on your team, on this Saluki team, got offensive rebounds. Is that something you guys collectively talked about as a team in the locker room? That's an area where you've got to be good together?
1,000%. I mean, if you take it back to last game, I didn't have any offensive rebounds. And, you know, being a guy that I know what I do best is rebounding, and I know that's one of my major jobs here. I knew for a fact that resonated with me, and I wanted to change it this game. And I felt like guys did too, you know. But, again, physicality is not just rebounding. You know, it's other facets too. But that was one thing we did become mindful of coming into this one. So,
being a fourth-year guy, if you were to look back at yourself as a freshman versus where you are today, how have you grown as a player? Now, this it's a hard question to ask in a game where we just, you know, have a tough ball game. But
yes.
Where do you see yourself as you're standing here post-game saying, this is where I've really, really grown, and this is, you mentioned rebounding is something you do best. What is an area where you say, man, this is the best thing I do?
The best thing I do, again, rebounding. I feel I've grown also in defense, you know, just switchability, versatility, you know, guarding, you know, 1 through 4. Sometimes when I'm at the 5, 1 through 5. So I feel like those are 2 things. And that's something I felt like, you know, I've shown at times since I've been here, but also I haven't. And I feel like that's also what I've learned is accountability and self-awareness in 4 years. You know, the fact that I'm able to say that is because, again, it's like you won't get anywhere if you're not honest and know what you do best. And I know those are 2 things I do pretty well. So,
Prince, when you go back to game 1 between these 2 teams, believe and look, the obvious thing is Q not being here and not being in the game. Q traveling with the team, and Isaiah not playing either.
Yeah.
So it shifts around of who's starting and who's coming from your bench.
Exactly.
But the bench was so good early on this year in the non-conference. They were plus 45 guys off the bench in that game. Tonight, I think it was 33-2 was the bench points in the first half. You know, even though guys' roles are a little bit switched here with some of the injuries, how do you get guys some confidence in that bench as one of the leaders on this team? Because you know there's a lot there that just unfortunately hasn't shown us consistently here over the last couple of games.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. You know, benches is very important, you know, especially in this January, February, and then once you get to March and late March, because obviously guys scout, you know, the starters, go-to guys, you know, guys that are role players in the starting group, whatever the case may be. But those guys that come in know what they're supposed to do best and bring that, you know, at a high level. That's what really helps the better teams win. And I feel like with us, again, it's just I feel like at times guys got complacent, and, you know, guys kind of come into a game with different mentalities. You know, just not consistent in mentality is what I'll say. And for someone like me to help with that, I feel like it's more of my voice and my actions, you know. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say Jalen or Rollins is having a bad game, you know. they might go quiet, start thinking to themselves, trying to figure it out. They're young, they should. But a guy like me, like you said, been here around 4 years, I can't go quiet regardless of how I'm playing. And what I mean by that is that even guys on the bench, like I still have to push them, and ask them for more because we need more. We're always going to need more. We're always going to need a standard from them, and they need to hold themselves to a standard too. And that's not just me, again, just talking about them. It's us too as starters, understanding what we do best and holding ourselves to a standard as much as we can through all the games we play in this final stretch. So that really answers it.
You're done with long practices. Those are over,
yeah.
right? I mean, it's you've been, again, fourth-year guy. You understand how this works going down the stretch. So the fix-it doesn't come with lots of repetition.
No.
What's really important in your next practice? Probably tomorrow off, I'm guessing, probably your mandatory day off.
Yeah.
You've got Friday, Saturday. You got a little bit of a weird weather thing, but that doesn't matter. You'll get to Evansville.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys fix it on short amount of reps to really get this thing to where it's got to be coming down the stretch in the second half of this season?
Mm-hmm. I think it really comes down to three things. First one being, guys watching film. I think that's the first thing. Like you said, we have an off day tomorrow. Guys should still be in the gym working on whatever they need to work on. But watch film on areas you can improve on, including myself. I feel like the second thing then is, take accountability as to, like, what you bring to the table, and be mindful of that. Ask yourself certain questions, That's something, I'll be honest with you, I feel like I had to do that last game, compared to Belmont. Credit to them. Again, they're a great team, but they came in 1 through 14, ready to play. And that wasn't the case with us last game, and it's kind of showing. We have some guys that's ready, some guys that's not. So it's just like you got to ask yourself certain questions, like what you're trying to provide for this team and what do you want to get out of this. And then lastly is then take every rep serious, once it comes down to practice. Like whether it's on defense, whether it's us practicing calls, whether it's us practicing situations when it's the last 4 minutes of the game and you're down 8 to 10 points, like what you should do, what you shouldn't do, shot selection, like take those reps really serious, because if you're not going full speed, then it's going to show. And I feel like it showed in the first half. Like if you watch our pace when we kind of ran things offensively, it was really slow, and the defense could read that. It's like, oh, I know they're going to set this down. I know they're going to come off this back screen, But once we came out a little bit with some energy in the second half, started doing what we're supposed to do at a standard that we know we're supposed to be at, it kind of turned around, started to make a little run, a little push. So I feel like those three things answer your question pretty well.
Prince, appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you
Thanks,
guys.
Prince.
Once again, that was Prince Aligbe. He was our Marion Toyota player of the game. 69-63 is the final score. Valpo wins it. Paxton Guy with a scoreboard update when we come back. This is Saluki basketball from Learfield.
Ulico Inc., a labor-owned insurance and investment company, is pleased to announce its support of the Egyptian Building and Construction Trades Council at Southern Illinois. Our personal insurance marketplace, Ulico Select, offers insurance products that protect and empower union workers and their families. Our values define us. Wherever union workers work, Ulico Select is on the job. It's for us, all of us. Check us out at ullicoselect.com.
When you have a fully connected life and being offline isn't an option, Extreme is the internet connection you need. Get 1 gig internet with no data caps, Eero Wi-Fi, equipment and security, plus a 2-year price lock. Visit extreme.com for details.
This holiday season, switch to Media